Trevs Hockey Show. I'm the Trev. It's too sweet. Anyway, I still don't know what to title this one. So whatever the title is for this one, that's what it is. But anyway, I've been wanting to do this one for a couple of days now. And most importantly, before the home opener. And since we're just shy of 24 hours away from that, probably about 20, give or take, I figured at least go over the first 2 weeks in Kraken franchise history and get some of these franchise firsts out of the way. Now, I'm not going to be doing this every time there's a new franchise first. I'll be doing this in peaks and valleys. So this one's before the home opener. Next one's probably end of the calendar year or at the All-Star break or whatever. That's the theory behind all this, but it's so long as there's more to add to this as far as franchise firsts is concerned. So having said all that, let's talk about some of these franchise firsts. It's before the puck even dropped on your Seattle Kraken's first game. The day before, to be exact, October 11th, the first set of captains were named. And the alternates, I'm not surprised. Eberle, Gord, Larson, and I forget the other one. Those were expected to be alternates. And I think it was inevitable that Giordano was going to be named captain. I didn't think it was going to happen this soon. I thought, if anything, he was signed an extension and then been named captain. But if you remember in my bold prediction of the expansion roster, even my reaction to it, I did say future captain. So I wasn't lying, but that was the first major event. It's game one. It was against what would be the former youngest team of the league, Vegas Golden Knights. And not only is this the first game, it's also the first loss. Unfortunately, they lost this game very questionably, 4-3. But a couple of important firsts came out of this one. First penalty came before the first goal, and that was by Jamie Alexiak. He was called for tripping at 13:15 in the first. And then the first goal didn't come until the second by Ryan Donato. Assisted from Vince Dunn and Jamie Alexiak, or Giannis Donskoy, sorry. 11:32 in the second period. I've always liked this Donato kid, even when he was playing in Minnesota and Boston. I've always liked Donato, so it's good to see him and Donskoy, because I'm a big fan of Donskoy too. It's good to see them both attached to a first in the franchise history, so that's awesome. And if we really want to get technical, it's the first come from behind. If you recall the game, they were down 3-0. They tied it back up at threes for that questionable goal. But, meh. They're counting it, so whatever. 2 days later, on the road against Nashville. And of course, this was the first win. Won this game 4-3. So, same score they lost their first game by. Now, first power play goal went to Jared McCann when he scored 15:27 in the first. But other than that, Brandon Tanev is all over this night. First 2-goal game. Second power play goal in franchise history. First empty netter in franchise history. First game winning goal in history. First 2-goal game. I think I mentioned that one already, but if I didn't, I just did. And you can see how he's very enthusiastic, the effort's there with him on the ice. So it's good to see that he really wants to put this on his back and run with it. And given how much freedom he's being given to do it, I couldn't see why it wouldn't work. Grubauer got your first win, or got credited with the win. So all in all, a good night, and even treated us in nice southern hospitality. So nothing major to report on this one. but two firsts to get out of the way. Obviously, this was 2 nights after our first win. We go into this game, it becomes our first overtime, and the first overtime loss, 2-1. So not by a bad margin. But an interesting little note here. First penalty-free game in team history. The only team to take a penalty in this game was Columbus, and that was a 2-minute minor. Nobody in the box for Seattle in this game. So, neat little thing that you can mark down in the history book. Now, as far as franchise first against the Flyers is concerned, it's the first time they had to switch the goalie. They had to take Grubauer out after letting in 6. Driedger came in. But other than that, two things of note that aren't really firsts so far. It's the largest deficit in team history as far as goals against to goals for, losing that game 6-1. And so far, the most penalty minutes in team history at 46. So there's a few fights in that one. But all in all, it wasn't a good night in Philly. And aside from having nothing to report majorly in Washington, that's about it as far as first is concerned within the first 5 games. So far, our record's 1-3-1. But this is expected. It's expansion. Not every team is built like Vegas, and this is a prime example, but let's not give up yet. It's only 5 games in. Lots of games to play still. So as I mentioned at the beginning, we're about 20 or so hours away from the first puck drop in Climate Pledge Arena. And it's exciting. That'll be the first home game. Be interesting to see who scores the first home goal ice. First goal on home ice. Ugh. But either way, I'm looking forward to this game. I really am. Only been waiting for it for 23 years. So no pressure, right? But either way, here's hoping for the best in this game. And here's hoping for some more interesting firsts coming up along the way. That way, when it comes back to making the next series of firsts in the first season, I'll actually have meat on the bones and content to it. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there, right? So another one of my Trevs hockey shows. I'll thank you for tuning in. Don't think I don't appreciate the gesture, especially if you're at this point here. It works out well for both of us. So I'll never complain if you're all the way here with me. That'd be a great thing. Yeah, don't adjust your set. That's a haircut. But either way, if you like this video, give me that like. If you want to, that red button there that says subscribe, hit that thing. You know you want to. Subscribing makes you feel good. We're 14 away from 100. So let's make that happen. Above anything else, right? All my socials in the description down below. Moving forward, as far as Seattle goes, well, I already outlaid my next video as far as that's concerned. But either way, in the meantime, in between time, be looking for more videos from Trev. Later.